Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Championship predictions for the midweek games coming up. Obviously no action over the weekend, pretty sad really.
It was, but I think it would have been a nice tribute actually if the games went ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that. Yeah, it feels a bit strange. I don't know, it's just after that little break. The scores are as you were, of course, because none of the Championship games got played out over the weekend. But it does look as though these games might go ahead. That's not a guarantee, but at the time of the recording this, I think they will. And I'll be off to Luton versus Coventry, so look out for a vlog on Wednesday. Let's get into Tuesday's games first then. Blackburn versus Watford. We usually base some of our predictions on previous games. I don't know what to think, as both teams didn't play at the weekend. Still think Watford are bound to have a good season. They're looking pretty good. Blackburn, bit hit and miss. I think Blackburn are capable of winning it if they're on their game, but I don't think they will be. I think Watford have just got the quality for me. 2-1.
Yeah, I've said before that Blackburn are very inconsistent. I think maybe being at home it could be a tighter game, but I do think Watford are going to win this. I think it's going to be a fairly tight game though. But 1-0 Watford.
1-0 Watford. Okay, next up we go to Huddersfield versus Wigan Athletic. I don't know what to think. Once again, the games got called off over the weekend, and maybe a break could have done Huddersfield some good. I don't think I backed them to win at QPR at the weekend, and obviously the game didn't get played out. But now they're back at home, I might back them to. They've had a little break. They need to start hitting the ground running soon against a Wigan side who haven't been bad, but I might just edge the Terriers. 2-1.
Okay, I'm actually going to go the other way. I think it's going to be a bit of a shock result, purely because Wigan have surprised me and I think they can play some good football. And yeah, as you said, Huddersfield, they haven't got off to the best start. So I just don't really know with predicting their results at the moment, whether they're going to turn it around now or a little bit later on in the season. But I'm going to back them to lose at home to Wigan, another 1-0.
I wouldn't even say it'd be a massive shock at this point.
Do you know what? Yeah, not a massive shock, but a bit of an upset.
Next up, Hull City take on Stoke City. Once again, it's hard to gauge these two. Hull City had a good start recently, not as quite so consistent. Stoke City, meanwhile, obviously the change in management, I wonder how long it might take them to really get going as well. I think this is really hard to pick. I could sit on the fence and go for a draw. I feel like Hull might be slight favourites, but I'm going to go for a little bit of a wild card. Stoke City to come away with the win, 1-0.
Okay, yeah, I think it could take a little bit of time for the manager to find his feet at Stoke. I do think he's a good manager though, but I am going to back Hull to win. I again, like you, was tempted to maybe back a draw. I think a draw, I can kind of see a draw playing out. However, I do think the Tigers being at home are going to pick up the 3 points, so 2-1. 2-1.
Next up, Middlesbrough take on Cardiff City. Middlesbrough, could they be turning a corner? Looking at the stats and the XG, the expected goals, they really should be up there. And the expectation at the start of the season was for them to be up there. Seeing as we're only a handful of games into this season, I think they will, as the season goes on, climb towards the top 6. And I think they'll get another win here against a Cardiff City side who are not bad on their day, but
they don't have their day enough for it.
Not as odds-on favourites as I think Middlesbrough are to get towards the top 6. I'm going to back Borough 2-0.
Yeah, I'm actually going to back Borough as well. I think it's going to be a fairly convincing win for me, so 3-0. 3-0
Middlesbrough, yeah. Going all in on that one. Okay, next up we go to South Wales as Swansea City take on Sheffield United. Swansea, their last game obviously was the win against Queen's Park Rangers. They didn't play at the weekend just gone, and now they're up against Sheffield United, who at the start of the season are back to do well. They're still doing well. Obviously they didn't play at the weekend, they were due to play Rotherham. This is quite tricky for the Blades. I think going away to Swansea is not an easy place to win.
No.
But I could just see the Blades sneaking past them. I'll say it's a hard game, but 2-1 to Sheffield United. The quality will get them through.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is going to be an easy game with Swansea being at home. They can be a difficult team to break down. I say can be because, yeah, some teams, they do just kind of tear them apart sometimes. I'm going to back Sheffield United to win. I do think they have more quality. And a 2-0 win.
2-0 Sheffield United. Okay, next up we've got another Lancashire derby. It's Preston North End versus Burnley. Preston lost before we had a little break this weekend gone, and I don't know how they're going to bounce back from that. They're up against a tough Burnley side who really could be higher in the table. They've been putting in some really good performances. I think Preston will try and make it cagey. They'll maybe try and get a 0-0 or try and pinch a 1-0 off them. But I think Burnley could just get through with the quality they've got. 1-0 Burnley.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, to be honest, because as you see with Preston, they don't ship many goals at all. But now that they have actually conceded, with it being against Blues as well, I wasn't expecting that. I think I said that in the last video. And coming against Burnley, they do have the quality to kind of get through that Preston defence, which a lot of teams, including ours, struggle to do. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be a 1-0 game, so quite cagey.
Okay, next up we move on to Wednesday's games. I'm going down to Kenilworth Road on Wednesday, and I've never been to Luton Town before. You've been?
Have you not?
No, I've not. You've been?
Yeah, I quite like it actually. People slag it off, but it's very different.
I'm not feeling optimistic. I'll be honest, we're bottom of the league, and we just can't seem to get any home games in at the moment. Obviously, the weekend game against West Brom was called off. We're now on the road again. Last time out, we lost 3-0 at Norwich. Luton, to be fair, haven't won at home yet, but I don't know. I think, once again, it's going to sound negative, but I'll be happy with a draw. 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take a draw. I don't think anyone's kind of, as a City fan, I don't think they're going to be optimistic going to Luton away on a Wednesday night. Was it Tuesday night last season where it was like 5-0? That was just shocking. But I don't think it's going to be like that this season. Well, I hope not. I do agree with you, and I think it's going to be a 1-1, and I would definitely take that.
Okay, interesting. We're both going for a draw there. Next up, we've got a London derby as we go down to the Den. Millwall take on Queen's Park Rangers. This is a tricky one. I look at these two sides and think maybe not odds-on favourites to make the top 6, but I could both see a possibility for each side having an argument to get in there. They've both got bits of quality. They're well supported. They're good clubs. They're quite well run.
Yep.
I've backed Millwall to actually make the top 6 this season. So far, they've been okay. QPR have been all right as well. I wouldn't rule them out of it. I think this is a really interesting game. It'd be quite fun. It's a bit of a derby. I'm just going to back the home team. I think Millwall at home are always quite strong, but I'm not going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 2-1 Millwall.
Do you know what? I'm not going to go 1-0 Millwall this time. Usually when they're at home, I think, do you know what? They're going to do it. They are quite strong at home, and they don't really concede too many. However, I do predict a bit of an upset this week, and I think QPR are going to do them 2-1.
2-1 QPR,
yeah.
The away side winning. Okay, interesting. Next up, Carrow Road, Norwich City take on Bristol City. Last time out, Norwich obviously beat Coventry. They didn't play at the weekend. They would have played Burnley on the Friday night. That got called off. Bristol City, meanwhile, their last win was, I think it was the Blackburn game, wasn't it? And then obviously they've had this weekend where they would have played Preston and that got called off.
Which would have been a good game. I would have liked to have seen the result of that. Actually.
Yeah, I feel like Norwich are going to be favourites and they're at home as well, but
Bristol City
I'll throw a spanner in the works a little bit and say Bristol City could get out of here with a point. I think they're looking really good. 1-1.
I agree, but I think more goals. I think 2-2. Both teams for me, which I did expect with Norwich, to be honest, have got off to an alright start. Norwich more so recently, and Bristol City have just surprised me from pretty much the get-go.
Yeah.
So I do think this is going to be a tight game, and that's why I've predicted a draw, but with goals, so 2-2.
2-2. Okay, next up, Rotherham United versus Blackpool. This is a tricky one to predict. They're both alright. I think at the start of the season, what I'll say is quite a few people thought these two could be in the battle, Rotherham in particular. Both so far keeping their heads above water. I think you can make an argument for them both staying up this season and maybe both pushing on a little bit more than that. Rotherham, maybe as the home team, I'm going to put as slight favourites because I do like Rotherham when they're at home, and I'm going to give it to them. I think this could be an entertaining game. I'm going to say 3-2 to the Millers.
Okay, I'm actually going to go, not a boring game, but a tighter game, but I do see the Millers winning. 1-0.
1-0 Rotherham.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Reading versus Sunderland. Reading looking pretty good most of the time up against a Sunderland side who are yet to really see what Tony Mowbray can offer them so far, I suppose. I think this could be quite interesting. I think Sunderland are obviously going to take quite a few fans down there for a Wednesday night game, and I don't know if the fans can make the difference in this kind of game. I feel like they could. Reading obviously have had a better start, but do you know what? I'm going to say the away fans make a difference. Bit of a random thing to say, but 2-1 Sunderland.
Okay, I would have gone the same and predicted a Sunderland win as well. However, they have got a few injuries into some real key players at the moment, so I think that is going to make a difference. So I'm actually going to back Reading to win 2-1. Reading
2-1, both going 2-1, but either way. Last up, West Midlands derby, West Bromwich Albion versus the Blues, Birmingham City. I think it's quite clear who the favourites are, West Brom, and they're at home as well. But Birmingham City can pull a result when you least
Look
expect
at them
it.
against Preston.
They did beat
What was that
Preston.
about?
It's typical that the Blues were the team to go and do that. But I do think West Bromwich Albion surely have got to go for the 3 points. I don't think they'll wipe the floor with Birmingham. I think Birmingham will try and keep themselves in the game, make it cagey, maybe try and pinch a point or maybe all three. I think West Bromwich Albion might have to work tirelessly to create chances and really try and break them down. I think they could just do it. I'm going to say 1-0 to the Baggies.
Yeah, I actually agree with a lot of what you said there, to be honest. I do kind of see Blues going away there and just trying to get a point, whether that's 0-0 or a 1-1. But I do think West Brom have too much quality, so for me they're going to win, and it's going to be a 2-0 win.
2-0 West Brom. That wraps up the predictions, guys. As I say, hopefully these games get played out, and obviously look out for a vlog on Wednesday night as I go to Kenilworth Road to watch Luton Town versus Coventry. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.